I know that you both served as executive producers for both the movie and the TV series. So when it came to putting the movie or bringing the TV show to life, what was it like to work on both adaptations and ensuring they didn't stray too far from the source material, but also taking a different approach to telling the series or to telling the story?
Well, I think film pretty much, especially in the 2008 film, tends to compress the story down. We've got to get this thing we got to tell the whole story in, an hour and 30 or 2 hours tops. Whereas in television, we now have 8 hours to tell this story. And we don't have that giant blockbuster budget to put every single special effect and every single character and creature in there. So it actually slows the story down. We get to take time building characters, which is to me is key for any of the television shows that I've loved and adore and keep coming back to. It's all about those main characters. Do I care about them? Do I love them? Am I curious to see what they'll do next? Which I think not only do, Lion, Noah, and Michaela kill it in this series, but I care about them. Their performances are so good as Jared, Simon, and Mallory, and they retain the spirit of the characters that Holly and I created. So that's like so super exciting.
And the other thing we get to do, right, is to see more about the villain. We get to see more Mulgarath. We get to see Christian killing it, and see Mulgarath.
Figuratively and metaphorically, right? Literally
Yeah.
and figuratively.
We get to see his schemes. We get to see his inner pain. We get to just have a very different view of the story from his point of view. And I think, yeah, I think it's really fun. And yet I think, the thing we knew from going into the film and brought forward here is that we needed to pick some things that we really cared about and kind of advocate for those things. And, one
Yeah.
of them was really the accuracy of the folklore and really having it feel true to the original stuff.
Yeah, like you were saying, Tony, it definitely gives you more time to kind of breathe and like get used to the characters and get used to everything that's going on. To whereas with the movie, you kind of get that 2 hour window, 90-minute window, whatever it is. So it definitely gives more time. And I know the books are all, from what I could see on Goodreads, they were all like about 100 pages. They're really short books. So is each book going to be its own season, or is it going to be like a multiple or a combination of multiple books in one season?
They kind of Aaron Colite, the showrunner, is kind of tackling it that way a little bit, David, where he said up front, like, I want to really focus on book one for this season as our launch pad, and then he expands upon it greatly. But also, I need to borrow from book five, which kind of in the book series reveals Mulgarath and his ultimate plan, but he wants to lay those seeds in. So just like Holly said, we get to see, Mulgarath also developing along the way, and I think it was a brilliant move on his part.
Yeah. And I love that Nietzsche quote that appears in the series where he who fights too long against dragon becomes a dragon himself. So, what is your interpretation of that quote, and to whom do you think that quote best relates to in the series?
Oh wow. Wait, what's the quote again?
So, in the series, the quote is, "He who fights too long against dragons becomes a dragon himself."
Wow. That is a great quote.
I
And
mean, there's a lot in this series that is about anger, right?
yeah,
Jared is a angsty, angry kid,
who's
and
going through a divorce, right? Which is relevant, just as relevant when we wrote the books as it is now.
yeah,
Mhm.
and and we're uncomfortable with anger, I think. And, his family doesn't know what to do and how to help him. And I think he doesn't always know how to help himself because he doesn't know what to do with his anger either. And that is paralleled in Mulgrath. It's paralleled in Thimbletack, two characters who also are, in some cases like Thimbletack struggling with anger, in some cases like Mulgarath giving in entirely, right, to anger and becoming a thing of anger. And I think, fighting is an act that is hard to do without anger, right? And so I think that the question of how he will become a hero, and not just a hero, but what kind of hero, right, is a big question in the series. How will he use his anger, and how
Yeah,
will
for
he
sure.
conquer it?
Yeah, I agree. And then my last question for you guys, there are a lot of series that do crossover episodes, and I'm curious if there's another series that you have in mind or a TV show to where you can see it crossing over with the Spiderwick Chronicles.
What? That's such a great question, David. I would love to just see Sarah Bolger or Freddie Highmore just perhaps working at a grocer or a certain, hand a cup of coffee, or I would love that. I love when that kind of stuff. We're in that age now where audiences are savvy enough that we can, whether you want to explain it away as a multiverse or just a nice wink and a nod. I love that kind of stuff in in movies and in television series. What about you, Holly?
Well, Tony, you have another show coming up, right? Eventually.
Yes, I
I
do.
don't know what
But
you're
it's
allowed to say
animated,
about
so.
it, but what I'd like to see is the world of DiTerlizzi crossover.
Well, yes. Now that you mention it, that sounds like an amazing dream, Holly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the time. It was great talking to you both. And again, congratulations on the series. I hope that we can see more seasons of this coming in the future.
Yes, fingers and toes are crossed.
All right. You both have a good day.
You too. Thanks, David.
All right. Bye.